Maguire, 3 points at Anfield, back-to-back games won, and we're just 2 points behind Liverpool in the Premier League table. Imagine if someone had said to you a month ago that Amorim was going to win back-to-back games, we're going to win at Anfield for the first time in 10 years, and we'd be just 2 points behind Liverpool at the end of October. We'd have been absolutely gassed with that. Obviously, Liverpool have lost 4 in a row, and that is the main reason we're 2 points behind them. But that is a huge win. And I don't think people realise how much this win is going to do for Manchester United from a mentality side. Because sometimes I think that there's been games where I think that the mentality has let us down at times, whereas I feel like we need that confidence from these kind of wins, and to win back-to-back games and have that confidence will be big. Now we are up to 9th in the Premier League. I will take that. We are 1 point behind Chelsea in 5th. We are 1 point off the top 5. We are 2 points off top 4, and we are 6 points off top. But we're actually looking in a decent position in the league. I said the expectation has to be top 8 this season. I said the squad is good enough to get top 8. When you actually look at the players we have, Sesko, Xerxes, Mbeumo, Cunha, Mount, Bruno, we should be finishing top 8. And I've always said that. And we saw that attacking quality, particularly in the first half, through Mbeumo and Ahmad. And look, I'm really, really happy. I don't think the performance was amazing. I'm not going to lie. I think that we've played much better football. I think we, across the 90, I actually think we played better when we lost 1-0 to Arsenal than how we played today. But I don't care. I honestly don't care if the performance wasn't perfect. I don't care about this. I don't care about that, because we've got the 3 points. We won back-to-back games, and we've handed Liverpool their 4th loss in a row, and they are absolutely in crisis mode. Lammens is looking amazing. Generally, most players were good. The low was questionable in that first half in particular. We sure had some bad moments, but other than that, I thought most players were good today. And do you know what? As much as I didn't think that United was that brilliant today, you have to be a certain level of good to get a result at Anfield, and we got the result at Anfield. And the most important thing from this game is the character it's going to build. And I don't think people notice that. It's not just about the win, but this is the character we're going to build from this win. These are the kind of things you can't work on the training ground, the confidence, the character that we've built up. So, look, I'm really happy with that. I want to talk about Cunha, because Cunha was getting stick, and I don't get it. I'm actually going to read out a tweet I saw on Cunha that was really accurate on Cunha. I want to talk about Lammens. I want to talk about Cunha. I do want to talk about the negatives. I do want to talk about Ruben Amorim. I want to talk about the substitutions, the calls, the general play, because I'll be honest, 3 points. Gas with that. It wasn't a sustainable performance. I think we got the luck today, and we deserve the luck. I think there's been a lot of times this season where we've just not got the luck. Well, I sometimes think we've been one of the unluckiest teams in football over the last year and a bit. Even if we've been crap in games, I feel like we've got no luck. And today, Salah missing a big chance. Isak missing a one-on-one. Gakpo missing an open net almost. Gakpo hitting the post 3 times. I think we got the luck today. And I think sometimes you need a bit of luck. And I think we've been overdue some luck. And yeah, I'm happy we won. I think the first 30 minutes was incredible. I thought the second half wasn't great from United. I think the Liverpool goal was coming. It was inevitable. And Maguire bailed us out. Tactic Maguire bailing us out worked. But I want to talk about Cunha, because I've seen people giving Cunha stick, 007. He's not got a goal and assist. And I thought Cunha was phenomenal today. I really do. And I saw this tweet on Cunha, and I honestly, I'm not getting my head around why people were criticising Cunha's performance today. I think it's because he didn't get a goal and assist. People who just have basic football opinions don't see everything else he brings. But this tweet from Ty, I agree with. Cunha is such a big game player. The ball carrying ability, the strength to fight until the death. These fouls he wins are worth every penny. Absolute monster. Buzzing with this win, feels huge. That was said by Ty. And he is. Yes, he can be wasteful, take shots here and there, sometimes try too hard. But Cunha would have 3 or 4 players around him, because the way we set up in that second half, when Cunha and Mbeumo did get the ball, there was no support for them. It was like them 2 versus 4 or 5 players. But they did so well, particularly Cunha, and holding off the ball from so many players, winning fouls. And when you're 1-0 up in these big games, and you just need someone that's going to hold up the ball and draw fouls and slow the game down, I thought Matheus Cunha was absolutely phenomenal at that. And I think his performance has gone under the radar. Like, he wasn't man of the match for me. I think man of the match, Lammens, Maguire, arguably man of the match, but I thought he provided a lot of value. So let's break down the game. I will talk about Liverpool in a second, but I think from a United perspective, I thought Ahmad and Mbeumo on the right-hand side worked really well. I thought Michael Oliver was an absolute disgrace, giving Amad Diallo a yellow card for a clean tackle. 3 times Michael Oliver's ref Man United versus Liverpool at Anfield, and 3 times he's made horrendous calls. I remember when he sent Dalot off for complaining that it was a Man United throw-on and he gave it to Liverpool, when it actually was a Man United throw-on, and he sent Dalot off for complaining. Ahmad makes a perfect tackle and gets a yellow card. Like, not just that you've given a free kick, you've given Ahmad a yellow card. Ahmad was phenomenal. I thought Ahmad was phenomenal, and I felt that him taking Ahmad off and not Dalot for Dorgu made no sense. I thought Dalot was poor. I think Dalot was our worst player today, and I don't think he's fully fit. I don't think he's fully suits the system, and I actually do think Dalot's a good player, but I thought it was shocking today. And I was surprised that Ahmad came off, and I think my only conclusion is it's maybe the yellow card, because that's why Casemiro came off. And I did think once Ahmad and Casemiro came off the pitch, I thought we were bad. I thought we were pretty good. I thought the first half and first 30 minutes in particular, we were excellent. I think we could have gone in at half-time 2-0 up. I thought we were pretty good. I thought the second half, Liverpool goal was coming, and it did eventually come, but luckily we came back into the game. But that Liverpool goal was coming in the second half. And the minute we took Casemiro off, and the minute we took Ahmad off, we lost a bit of control. I don't think we were great. Because I do think that the lower mount on the left-hand side wasn't great, but Ahmad and Mbeumo on the right-hand side was excellent. And I felt that once we took them off, we didn't really have an outlet. It was Cunha having to hold the ball against a million people, or Mbeumo having to beat a million people. And on one hand, you can say, well, we're 1 up at Liverpool. Aaron's going defensive. If he goes for it and we go for 2-0 and we concede, we'll say, why are you going for it when you're 1 up at Anfield? So you can say that on one hand, but on the second hand, you can say, well, Amorim was too defensive and he had too many players back, that he invited too much pressure. We lost control, and then when we did get the ball, Cunha and Mbeumo had so much to do. I think there's two ways you can look at it. I do think the approach when Casemiro came off for Ugarte and Ahmad came off for Dorgu was a little bit cowardly. I felt that we were inviting on too much pressure. I thought the goal was inevitable, and I did not like it. I thought the first half an hour was fantastic. I thought the setup from Amorim to begin was fantastic, but I didn't like the approach to the second game, and I get why we had that approach. Be defensive, be secure. But I felt that game was crying out for Kobbie Mainoo 20, 30 minutes before he came on. I thought Bruno was poor, but Bruno ultimately got the assist that resulted in the winning goal. So that is why you keep Bruno when he's poor. I thought, Ugarte wasn't great, and I think we lost that control when Casemiro came off. But we got the winner, and I think sometimes it annoys me because I think the football can be unsustainable in the sense of why we're relying on Maguire for a winner. But today it worked. Today was one of those games where it did work, and Amman did get that right. I would have played Euro over Luke Shaw. I think Luke Shaw got at a few times today. I don't think it was Luke Shaw's best game. I think we were inviting on pressure. I think it was very obvious that Liverpool were going to make it 1-1. And I thought when Liverpool were going to make it 1-1, they were going to win the game 2-1 because I thought they had that momentum. And we got the other end, and Maguire scores against the momentum, against the run of the play. Maybe we get a bit of luck, but I honestly don't care. I'm super happy with that. I'm super happy with Lammens. I thought Sesko did well when it came on. I'm super happy with Cunha and Mbeumo. What I'm super happy about is the new signings. I haven't said this in a while, but I'm happy about the new signings. I'm happy about the work that Ineos have done and the recruitment Ineos has done. And I think we have a really good squad. And I generally believe that this squad is good enough to get top 8. And that's on Ruben Amorim to get us top 8. But I generally believe we've got a good enough squad to get European football next year, ideally the Europa League. I don't want to be in the Conference League. I do think that was... Second half, we had the luck, but I thought the first half we were excellent. I wish we bent a Liverpool more in the second half because I think they were a little bit open at times, but we won the game. So it doesn't really matter what I think of the tactics because we won the game. These tactics won the game, and that's that. I want to talk about Lammens though. I think he was so good. I think he was so beneficial. I think his positioning for Salah's chance is why Salah's chance was so off. I thought the Isak opportunity, maybe he could have come off his line quicker, but ultimately he kept Isak very quiet. Gakpo hit the post 3 times, but with Lammens' positioning, he's forcing the players to shoot into those areas where they're hitting the post. Onana's positional sense was so bad that there would have been a big gap between Onana and the post, and maybe Salah places the ball at a different angle and that goes in. With Lammens, he wasn't leaving Salah that space and gap. I thought Lammens was claiming the ball. I thought he was comfortable on the ball. Another 7 out of 10 performance. With Lammens, he's put 2 7 out of 10 performances in a row, 1 goal conceded in the 2 games. First 2 games Lammens plays is the first time we've won back-to-back games under Amorim, and that's I think a big coincidence is the goalkeeper. I don't think Lammens has been playing like a 10 out of 10. I think the way we describe Lammens, you think it's a 10 out of 10 performance because we've been having 3 out of 10 goalkeeper performances for so long that putting in a 7 out of 10 performance looks like a 10 out of 10 performance. But we're getting 7s and 8s out of 10s from Lammens 2 games in a row. Don't want to put too much pressure on the kid. He's still very young, but back-to-back wins the first time he plays 2 games, and we don't have an incompetent keeper. You look at the Arsenal game, if we swapped goalkeepers, we wouldn't have lost that game. We look at fine moments. Bruno putting penalties away, not having an idiot in goal, not missing big chances. We could have won a lot more games than we lost this season. which, we could look at that and say, well, that's a good metric, which means the form should go up this season. Maybe not. But we got a bit of the luck today. We've got a goalkeeper that seems to fill the defence with confidence. And I like that. I was happy with Cunha carrying the ball. I was happy with Lammens in goal. I do think when Ekitike came on, Liverpool looked dangerous. The Liverpool goal was coming. And I felt that Liverpool were probably unlucky not to score more. But I thought it was in general a good performance from United. We did enough to win the game. It was frustrating to watch at times, but I'm just happy. I'm just really happy we got the win because we're 2 points behind Liverpool now. And that's really big. And that's really big because we want to be in European football next year. And I think we have to get European football next year. Even if it's not Champions League, we do. So yeah, positive signs. Thank you for watching. Bye.